First of all, shout out to my man Tim Burrow over in Scotland somewhere. He's missing his first, is my 10th media day here at the Reserve, so really appreciate, well, maybe we did it one place somewhere else that one year, I can't remember, but I think we've done them all here, but I appreciate the Reserve and their hospitality and being able to host the event here. Hopefully everybody got a chance to meet Ross, and who's stepping in here for Tim. I'm excited to have him come aboard, but it's great to be out here. This is kind of the official go time for us. We started as a staff yesterday officially, getting back going, and you know, there's a lot of enthusiasm in our building. Our players have worked hard this summer. You know, that's one of the things that I do, especially when I do get away for a couple weeks, is I try to, you know, just keep a pulse of the team in various ways as far as what's going on, how they're working, and this team has been very focused. I think when we've tried to give them some breaks along the way too. I think that's important. But one of the things, when they have come back off of whatever break they've had, you could tell that guys had continued to work. And I think that is a sign of maturity. That's a sign of the veteran leadership and guys understanding what it takes, but also being committed to what it takes to be in position to get off to a good start in fall camp. So I think we're in a good spot there, but just anxious to get going, and happy to be here with you today.
Coach, you mentioned veteran leadership. How much will experience and having upperclassmen who've been to the college football playoff the last 3 years help this team?
Well, hopefully a ton. I mean, this is a very well documented. This is the most veteran team that I've had since I've been the head coach, and I'm excited about that. Last year was the polar opposite, you know, and I think I embrace whatever challenge we have every year. I just embrace that. I think that's fun. That's what makes college football so interesting. Last year we were like a complete makeover on offense, you know, really starting over, and we spent the whole year like, well, oh my gosh, how are we going to score a touchdown? But yeah, we're good on defense. Whereas this year it's so different, and I embrace that too, because we have all these guys back who've been there, they've played, and so hopefully that leadership, that experience will bode well for us. I think it already has, in what I've seen in spring ball and what's taking place this summer. So, and then there's a lot of things that you don't see, and that coaches we don't see, but I know is just little things that I know our players are doing from a leadership standpoint. You know, whether it's an older guy taking young guys, you know, coming back in the afternoon when they could be sitting out by the pool, they've already had their workout, etc. But yet it's an older guy taking some young guys on his own to go work some drills, to teach. And I think that's the type of leadership that we have on this team.
You said coming out of spring, you know, a year ago you had a lot of questions. This year you were ready to get to September coming out of spring.
Yeah.
That having been said, and let's assume the players feel that way too, because they always want to go play in the games. What does that mean August camp is like, and how different might it be? Because there is so much experience, and you guys pretty much are ready to go with the exception of a position or two.
Well, I think there's going to be a ton of energy. You know, just in fact, I was just talking to Christian driving up here, and the guys they're ready to go. I mean, they're chomping at the bit to get started, and I think we have a lot of veterans, but we've got as much competition as we've ever had. You know, everybody on this team, they know and they accept the fact that they have to go earn it, and that there's nobody's given anything. That's just the culture that we have, and so that's the mindset. It's a very much workmanlike. There's no, you know, there's nobody that's arrived. Everybody has to go prove it. I don't care how many years they've started. I mean, Mitch Hyatt, he's a very proven left tackle, but this is August of 2018, and you got to prove it again. And so there's that mindset, and we have just so much competition at every position because we do have good depth and we have good experience depth, and everybody's working hard to earn the opportunity to play. Everybody can't start, but it's not about starting. It's about how you play, you know, when you play. And so I think that that's where we are, and so with that comes a lot of energy and a lot of enthusiasm, and you know, it'll be exciting to get out there and watch them compete in camp.
Coach, I think the day that we talked to you last at camp, they passed the new redshirt rule. How much of an advantage do you think that'll be strategically with some of those guys that are on the fence? I know you talked about you're real close with Kendall Joseph, not redshirting him. Just guys like that, being able to play them late in the season.
Yeah, well, I don't know how much of an advantage it is because everybody has the same opportunity. So I don't know that like gives us an advantage, but I think it's a great opportunity for us from a developmental standpoint for every team. I mean, I think I was just talking to Kelly and Kwok about it on the radio there, in that you may have a guy that's just not ready, but by the end of the year, man, his kid is really developed. He's been through Power Hour. He's matured. He's mentally in a different place. Boy, it's really nice to be able to say, hey, you know what? We're going to be able to get you in. Get you in a game here. The engagement from your redshirt guys, I think, will go to a whole nother level. I think we do a good job. Guys that are redshirting, it's hard, but we have a little plan. In fact, we talk about it every fall camp on how we're going to keep our kids engaged. How we're going to, what's our plan? Well, I want to know what your plan as a position coach is. If we're going to redshirt this guy, what's your plan weekly to keep him engaged? And just so there's a steady progression, and that he doesn't feel, like he's not a part of it. So I think that part really helps, because now if a guy knows he's got a chance to get in the game, and you're still limited on how many guys you can travel on the road, 72. So you got decisions to make there. But even still, you might get in a point in the season where you go, you know what, man, perfect example is Cleveland. His freshman year, he's coming off an ACL, and he wasn't quite ready. We drug him along for about 3 or 4 games trying to make a decision, and we're like, okay, let's try to hold him. And then, we held him all year. And then we get down there to the Orange Bowl, and Shaq got hurt, and, we had Austin, and, Clee could have helped us in the Orange Bowl. He was ready, but we would have lost a whole year at that time. So it's nice to have that type of flexibility late in the year due to injuries, which I think, was a big part of this rule. Just because guys get hurt, and you don't want to have to. You want to have more options. And I think another part is sometimes guys not playing in bowl games and things like that. And have to play a guy for 1 game and lose a whole year. That's not fair to the player. So I think there's a lot that drove the decision, but I think it's a great deal for all of us involved. Again, it gives us a lot of flexibility week to week, and year to year as we develop the team.
Coach, when you're not around and this downtime in the summer, the players have to be held accountable. What does the culture around the program do to help get these guys knowing that while you're not able to watch every move, that they're taking the strides that it takes to become successful?
Well, we got an unbelievable. First of all, we can hold them accountable to 8 hours a week, mandatory, and you best believe they're held accountable to that. So Coach Batson, and not too long ago, everything was voluntary in the summer, and you couldn't punish somebody. I don't know if y'all remember this. Like my first year, I punished a kid. Because he wouldn't go. We were having some academic issues, and so I made him come, and like 5:30 in the morning. And we just went for a little 2-mile run, and next thing I know, I'm in the USA Today. And I'm like, you mean I can't make a guy go to class? We're paying for class. So it was those days are changed. We can hold them accountable in the summer, which is great. So Joey and his staff do an unbelievable job of that. But there's only so much we can. There's an 8-hour rule. And so that's all your workouts and your running and stuff. So it really becomes imperative that guys go above and beyond, and that they do a lot on their own. And like all of our skills and drills, all that stuff is player led. And our guys, that's just the culture that we have here. It's just kind of passed on, through our years here, going into year 10. This is what we do. This is what it takes. And you have the young guys that become older guys that carry on the tradition, and it's important. But they've done a great job. We had a great semester academically. Summer 1, really good semester academically, and so hopefully we'll finish strong this summer too.
I'm sure the count is probably up around 10,000 during the offseason that fans have asked you and the offensive staff about the quarterback situation. Yeah. And you've said what you've said about it leading up to now. When do you anticipate, or do you have a feel as to what point, either in the preseason or September, that you'll be comfortable with the pecking order you've established, or what you've decided with that rotation?
Yeah, well, as I've said, I said after spring, I thought we had 4 guys that we could win this league with, or compete to win this league with. Now we got 3 because Hunter decided to move on. So that hasn't changed. And but how that's going to shake out, I don't really have. I mean, I know how we're going to start. I mean, Kelly is coming out of spring #1, and that he went into spring #1. He came out of spring #1, but the gap closed. So we'll see what happens. It's a daily competition, a daily battle, and I'm very confident in Kelly Bryant. Believe in Kelly. I think he can lead this team. He's already proven he can do that. But he's so much better today than he was this time last year. And the same thing with Trevor and Chase. I know neither one of them taking a snap, but based on what I've seen in our practices and in our meetings, and who they are as people, I think that those guys will have an opportunity to compete. So I don't really have a timeline. I mean, it'd be great if I was in a situation where it was just, you aren't even asking me the question. But then again, it's great to have great competition too, because I don't know that I've really had a situation where I can honestly say that I think we can compete in our league with 3 guys. So that's a good situation.
Take just a couple more so we can start.
Is this the best defensive line you've ever seen or been around, do you think?
Oh, well, we're a long way from that. They look good on all these preseason magazine covers. That part of it, they're really good-looking guys when it comes to that. But, they got to go earn that. I mean, we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of great defensive lines. I've been around some great defensive lines at Alabama, some great defensive lines here. Grady Jarrett, he'd be the first one right here saying, and Vic and those guys. But, I think that they're